Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to make sense of what's really going on behind those fancy corporate filings. You know that feeling when you hear about a company getting a big contract and you wonder if it's really as good as they say? Well, today we're digging into Emergent BioSolutions and a contract modification that's got us asking some questions. So Emergent BioSolutions dropped this filing on September 2, 2025, and it's all about a contract they have for an anthrax vaccine called CYFENDUS. Now, this isn't the first time we've seen this contract, but it's been modified, and that's what this report is all about. Let's get straight to the point. Emergent received a contract modification, actually modification number 20 on August 29th of 2025. This modification is with the Office of the Assistant Secretary for Preparedness and Response, and it's for more doses of their anthrax vaccine CYFENDUS. The value of this modification is a cool $30 million. Now, this contract, the BARDA AB 7909 contract, as they call it, got started way back in September 2016. It's a big deal because it's for something really important, like preparedness for biological threats. So getting an extra $30 million sounds pretty good on the surface, right? But here's where we need to be like a detective. This filing is basically telling us, hey, we got more money, and they're pointing us to an exhibit that has the full details of this modification. They also mentioned that the original contract is filed with their annual report from 2024. That's standard procedure, but it means the real meat of the deal, the nitty-gritty details, are somewhere else. What's important to understand here is that this filing is a current report on Form 8K. These are typically filed when a company has something really significant to announce that investors need to know about pretty quickly. So a contract modification of this size certainly qualifies. Emergent stock symbol is EBS. You can see that their common stock is traded on the New York Stock Exchange. This means that any news about their contracts and their financial health is going to be watched very closely by investors. That $30 million modification could potentially impact their future earnings, and that's why it's being reported. They also issued a press release about this on September 2nd. Companies often do this to get the word out to the public and media in a more digestible way than these formal filings. You can bet that press release, if we had it, would be spun in the most positive light possible. Now let's talk about what we don't have explicitly in this filing. We don't have the updated financial statements from this modification itself. This report is announcing the event, not necessarily showing its immediate financial impact in detail. To really understand how this $30 million affects their bottom line, we'd have to look at their next quarterly report or any other filings that break down their revenue and backlog. The filing also lists exhibits. Exhibit 10.1 is that modification number 20. Exhibit 99.1 is the press release. And 104 is something called the cover page interactive data file. That's just for electronic filing. The important stuff for us is the contract news and the press release. And speaking of who's signing off on this, it's Richard S. Lindahl, the Executive Vice President, Chief Financial Officer, and Treasurer. This is the person whose job it is to make sure the company's finances are in order and that these reports are accurate. The date of the signing is September 5, 2025. Now, looking at this from a bigger picture perspective, Emergent BioSolutions is a company that's focused on public health threats and countermeasures. They've had a bit of a rocky past with some product recalls and regulatory issues in the past, but this contract is for something crucial. A $30 million increase in a government contract for a vaccine that addresses a serious threat like anthrax is a positive signal. It shows continued government investment in their products and their capabilities. However, it's important to remember that this is just one piece of the puzzle. A lot of government contracts can be complex with performance milestones and funding that might not be guaranteed indefinitely. So while this $30 million boost is good news, we need to see how it plays out in their actual financial results and if it leads to more business down the line. We also need to consider their overall financial health. Are they growing in other areas? Are they managing their costs effectively? And are they still facing those past challenges we mentioned earlier? Simply receiving a contract modification, while positive, doesn't automatically mean long-term success. It means they've secured a portion of business that could lead to revenue and profit, but the true test is always in the execution and the sustained financial performance. Alright, so that's our quick decode of this Emergent BioSolutions filing. What's your take on this contract modification? Does it signal a strong comeback or just another step in the ongoing journey? For Emergent, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, give us a thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss our next deep dive. And hey, if you want to join the conversation and connect with other corporate finance enthusiasts, our Discord channel is linked in the description, so come on over. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next time on Corporate Decoder.